So I usually don't mind the Daily Caller, even though they're a quite obviously partisan right-wing website. Normally they're actually quite good, and their factual reporting is usually top-notch, actually. I think there's a guy called Chuck Ross, I think that's his name, who I'm particularly fond of, because he does really good journalism, but that's him personally. I don't really want to comment on Ian Mason, but this piece really kind of bugged me, because you can see the reflections in it of everything that the left does as well. And I really think it's worth calling this out. I really think it's worth just bringing it to your attention because, I mean, this happens on both sides, so I don't want people to think that it doesn't. So this is DNC chair candidate stumbles when pressed on anti-Semitism. Now, I think I know the guy that they're talking about because I watched the fucking entire 8-hour stream of the DNC chair sort of forum or whatever they were having. I can't remember the name of it. The DNC forum, in fact, it was. And yeah, I get the feeling that this guy probably is anti-Israel, which is not necessarily the same as being anti-Semitic, obviously. And so I think that he might maybe be being misrepresented here. So he said, Wednesday's V's fucking messaging me. Hang on. Fucking. What the fuck? What is it, man? What is it? Sort his shit out. Yeah, it's fine. Right, anyway. So, geez, these are the worst videos in the world. So, he says he was asked to account for allegations of past anti-Semitism. This is a smear job. This is a smear job. This is not relevant to what's going on. I mean, he probably isn't a direct anti-Semite. And I'm not even going to look into this, but it's the way that this is presented, I can tell that this is way overblown. Because if he was just like this virulent, Jew-hating, anti-Semitic psycho, he wouldn't have got fucking anywhere. He wouldn't have got to where he is now. You know, this is some sort of fucking secret belief he must hold, but it's probably anti-Israel, not anti-Jew, because, I mean, there are plenty of Jews who are anti-Zionism as well. It's just like feminism. It's like this monolithic ideology that wants to just claim an entire group of people for itself, even though this is a diverse group of people with different ideas, and a lot of them conflict. So, anyway, Sunni Muslim Democratic congressman, you can see why this is being done now, has long been dogged about his association with groups like the Nation of Islam and Council on American Islamic Relations. I mean, it's entirely possible this guy is an anti-Semite, don't get me wrong. He has also come under fire for statements and writings regarding the State of Israel and American support for the Jewish state, going as far as to publish a paper of laws titled Zionism, Imperialism, White Supremacy, or Both. So, I mean, I'm happy to believe he's a raging regressive, and I'm happy to believe that he's totally against Israel, because Israel's oppressing the brown people, even though the Israelis are also brown people. Or at least, you know, they're not like white. They're not like white Europeans. So, I mean, they're Middle Easterners, you know. So it's just smear jobs all the way out, isn't it? That's what we're looking at for the future. He says, Congressman Ellison on Tuesday, you criticised President Trump on Twitter for not speaking out sooner on anti-Semitism. You have critics in your own party who say that's right, who say it's the right message. Fucking hell. But you may not be the messenger because you're dogged down by your own questions about potential anti-Semitism. Debate moderator Chris Cuomo pressed. Chris, shut up. You fucking disingenuous hack. You have zero fucking credibility. We can go and read WikiLeaks for ourselves. We don't trust you. You are a corporate hack. Fuck off. Ellison denied the validity of the issues. Well, of course he would. I mean, there is just simply no fucking outcome where he's going to be, yeah, you know what, I'm actually kind of on the side of gassing Jews. Yeah. I mean, this is just, there's no point reporting that. From that point onwards, I don't need to know anything else, because I know that he's just going to deny it, and they're going to go, well, we think that's the case, and they'll be like, yeah, well, I don't think that's the case, and that's it. That's the extent of this issue. Fucking, and I don't particularly, this is a guy who I would never want to defend. This fucking regressive twat who's like, Zionism, imperialism, white supremacy, or both. I think you're going to find it's both. I mean, I already know how that's going to turn out. And yet, I don't think we should just be smearing him as some fucking anti-Semite, even if he is a Muslim, and even if he does actually hold anti-Jewish views. Yeah, he probably does. A lot of Muslims do. It's a sad thing to say, but a lot of Muslims actually hold really anti-Semitic views. They have it on their television. They think it's just a normal thing. And so, yeah, okay, get over it. This is just one more reason on the pile of reasons. But again, I don't think it's that cut and dried. I don't think this guy is some Middle Eastern ideologue. I think he's a different kind. He's a Western ideologue. And so to him, Islam isn't really Islam. It's more ideology. But it's intersectional. But anyway, he says, these are false allegations, going on to cite examples of a supporter in the Jewish community. Why don't you give us that? Why not actually say that? I mean, this example of the supporter in the Jewish community might be really credible, and it's one of those things that we can then look into ourselves. What? Where are these fucking motorbikes coming from? People on mine, you were triggered by the ice cream trucks. Yeah, when I'm recording, I don't like outside noise coming in. Oh, you cunts. I tell you, this is just the worst channel on the internet. Fuck professionalism. So, yeah. And then he goes, these are smears and we're fighting back every day. These are smears. This is just a smear piece. And it's surprising that it shouldn't be surprising. Everyone in the media does this. But it's disappointing. Because I actually thought rather well of the Daily Caller, because a lot of their reporting, as I said, has been genuinely good and very useful on the topics that we cover. So this is surprising. Well, not surprising, but you know what I mean. It's disappointing. Anyway, but he was quick to turn the attention back to current events. Right now you have Jewish cemeteries defaced and desecrated. Right now you have Jewish institutions getting bomb threats. We have to stand with the Jewish community right here, right now, for square. I don't know what four square means. And that's what the Democratic Party is all about. Okay, well, that's fine. That's good. But the thing is, this is at the end and the damage is done, because in a lot of cases, like PewDiePie says, people only read the fucking headline and they just read so-and-so anti-Semitism, so-and-so paedophile, so-and-so whatever, and it's just like it just puts the association in people's minds when there was no real need for it to be there. And then if you put that at the very end, people might just read the beginning and go, fucking right, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting. And then you have to get across. I mean, it's just like, it feels like it's putting your thumb on the scales. That's what it feels like. When I'm reading it and I'm looking at it thinking, it just... And maybe it's just I'm being sensitive. Maybe I'm being really sensitive because of what's all been going on. And we're always seeing smear campaigns. And I even had that one against me by some fucking trolls. It's just like... It's a really horrible thing to do to someone. That's what I'm saying. It's a really fucking horrible thing to do to someone. And I think everyone can see that. And I think that whenever people are engaging in it, there's a part of them that's enjoying purging a part of themselves. Like that feeling of purging the heretic, making someone else the scapegoat, and then casting them out. And in that way they think that they are alleviated of some of the guilt, because they've done something to expunge some guilt about themselves. And I don't like watching it. I really don't like watching it. I think it's really unhealthy. I think it's going backwards. This is not social development. This is social regression, and we should definitely be avoiding this. Just adults shouldn't be doing this. This is the sort of thing that I expect peasants to do. When someone says she's a witch, okay, maybe it's probably not going to be that cut and dried, though, is it? We're going to have to. I mean, what? It's just not that simple, is it? Let's be honest. If you can start throwing out accusations like this, then. But this is the thing. It's. This guy's defense is at the end of it, and it seems just inadequately cut. Why not give the example of the Jewish person? Naming names makes people more real in your head. That gives more weight to what's being said. That's why in like academic papers you have to name the things. If you're arguing with someone, it makes you sound more credible. And yet they take it out, and so it's a partisan piece, and I don't like it. And it's not even a big smear job, but this is just the example of like a small example of a smear job. And what did you learn here? What did you learn about anything? You might come away going, well, fucking hell, but this is, they have to report what he says, because otherwise they're going to be, misrepresenting him and stuff like this. But the way it's constructed still isn't very useful. Because of the way that people consume media. It's not that the Daily Caller have necessarily done anything wrong here, because they haven't, but it's in the context of knowing that people flit through headlines and build up an impression of what's going on, or they read the first paragraph or something and go, right, okay, skip. That I think is the important thing to remember. But again, I'm not like trying to condemn the Daily Caller. I actually think they're not bad. This is something I don't see that often, or maybe I'm just not looking for it, but it's not something I see often. And it's another example of a smear piece, and I really think we should start getting away from these. And I should really do videos that aren't total shit.